In this video tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make the Viking Celtic torque bracelet featuring the wolf head end caps. We'll be using the Flatwearable mini wire winder. I like to anneal copper with MAP gas. MAP gas runs much hotter than butane or propane, and you want to get each one of the wires heated to red, and make sure you heat each wire individually. You want to lay them all out, spread them all out so there's no overlapping. MAP gas runs very, very hot, and with the 16 gauge wire you can melt the copper wire, so you do want to be careful. Once you've annealed all of your wires, you're going to pickle them. I'm using Sparix in a crock pot, and soaking one end, then flipping it over and soaking the other end. Now I'm going to take two of the wires, chuck them into a drill on one end and into a stationary vise on the other end. We're going to be twisting in a clockwise direction. You want to pull back on the drill, and I twist until the wire breaks free from the drill. I find I get nice consistent twists with this method. Then we're going to anneal these twisted sections using the MAP gas torch. If you don't have MAP gas, you can use a butane or a propane torch. You do want to have a bigger torch than a little handheld model. Plumber's torch, your local big box stores carry these torches, and they're really not that expensive. Now we're going to take those sections and we're going to add them to the Flatwearable mini wire winder. I start by placing my core wire in, which is a 12 gauge wire. I didn't anneal that one. It's not getting twisted, so there's no need to anneal the core wire. I find that core wires that are smooth give better results than if I were to take one of these twisted wires and use that instead. So I'm just lining up the jig. One part that I'm going to be using to twist, the other section sits into the vise. And then I'm going to pull them all up and bind them together with a piece of tape. This is Gorilla tape. You can use duct tape, masking tape. You can even use Scotch tape, just something where you're going to be able to bind those wires nice and tight. When you start to twist, the wires will retract and they become shorter. So if you don't have them bound on both ends, you're going to find that it pulls out of the jig. I'm also putting a little clamp on. This was a suggestion made by a YouTube viewer on one of the previous videos. This is the smallest clamp I was able to find. So if you need to bulk up that area in order for the clamp to tighten, just put on more tape. I'm not using the clamp on the other end just because I do not have enough clearance underneath the vise to accommodate the knob on the little clamp. So all I'm going to do with those is just line them up, and I'm going to bind those really tight with another piece of Gorilla tape. If you find when you're twisting that your wires are coming out of the jig, then you might want to bend the wires at the tips so they're less likely to pull through. Once that's all done, then you're going to pull everything up nice and tight. You want even tension on all of your wires. If you have slack in one of your wires, it's not going to twist as nicely as the other wires. We twisted each wire set in a clockwise direction, but we twist the bracelet in a counterclockwise direction. You want to pull up as you twist. And you're going to continue to twist until you like the way it looks. I always over twist to where it just wants to start binding up, where the wires want to start binding up on top of each other. If you get wires that are trying to slide over top of one another, you can always pinch them down with a pair of pliers. And once I've twisted it to my satisfaction, then I'm going to release it from the jig. You can cut the wires, or you can unbend the tips there and just slide the jig off. I find it easier just to cut the tips with the Kaiba flush cutters. We carry these really awesome heavy-duty flush cutters on our website, along with many other tools. There is a link in the description box below that gives a list at the bottom of the page of many of the tools that we carry on our website and ones that we are using in the videos. So once I have the top part off, I'm going to release the bottom part of the jig from the vise and remove that portion from the bracelet. And this is what it's going to look like at this point. And you can see it's not completely smooth, but we're going to make it smooth. We're going to anneal again. Now you have a lot more material to heat up. This is where MAP gas is really going to come in handy. If you do use butane or propane, just expect that it's going to take a bit longer to achieve that cherry red. Don't hold the flame in one area too long because, like I said, MAP gas is super hot and you can melt the copper. I rotate it as I go just to make sure I have everything heated properly. Quench and pickle. Rinse it, dry it. Now we're going to move on to a metal swage block and start tapping all of the wires nice and tight and compact with a rubber mallet. Always start from the center and work your way out. You can see where I've tapped how it's become nice and smooth, and that is what it looked like before. Flipping it around, and now I'm going to go the opposite direction. Never tap from the outside in because that'll force your wires to spring open on the inside. Actually, not on the inside, towards the center. Your wires will start springing open towards the inner portion of the bracelet. So you always want to tap from the section, the middle section, to the outside. Using the Kaiba flush cutters to remove the excess wire. And doing that on both ends. And now tapping all of this down. If your wires start to spring open, all you need to do is just anneal again. You've work hardened it, and you just have to anneal it again. There's no harm in annealing it more than one time. And just making sure everything is nice and compact and tight and even. I've got the bracelet cut to the desired length, and now I'm polishing it on a bench buffer and using a white or a black compound, and that is a cutting compound. It removes small imperfections and scratches and does do a certain level of polishing. Once that's all done, I pop it into an ultrasonic. I did not video that portion, so I'm just showing you the ultrasonic in the liver of sulfur with a different project. The ultrasonic really blasts the dirt in the compound out of all of the little nooks and crannies. Now I'm adding a little bit of liver of sulfur into some hot water, dissolving that, and then you're just going to pop your piece in. I add a little bit of ammonia to the solution. That helps give me a darker effect on the bracelet. And so I'm just going to let it sit and soak in that solution until it has gotten black. I like them really, really dark. Then I just use the bench buffer again with a polishing compound, and that removes the liver of sulfur on the high areas while leaving it into the recesses. So I have these awesome little wolf end caps that I'm going to be using. I need to remove just a little bit of this material on the inside in order to get the little stainless steel cap to get the wolf to fit over the little stainless steel cap. If the bracelet were a little bit wider, I wouldn't need to use this extra little steel cap. And everything is going to get attached using JB Quick, and it's a 2-part epoxy. You're going to mix equal parts together. I've just got a little piece of scrap acrylic. You can use a little scrap of cardboard and a popsicle stick to mix that all together. You want to mix that thoroughly till there's no more evidence of either the white or the dark. You want to mix that all until it's a nice even gray color. The quick weld, this sets up in about 5 minutes. I do recommend to let it set for several hours, preferably overnight, before you do any more work on the bracelet. And adding some to either end, and then pressing the little stainless steel cap on. Lots of ways to finish end caps on the bracelet. We have a number of videos on the YouTube channel which show different methods, so you might want to take a look at those. If this type of end cap doesn't interest you, there are other types that we show in different videos. And just cleaning up the excess with a rag. Once I have those caps on, now I can put on the wolf caps. I like the little inner cap as well with the wolf caps because it just creates kind of a little collar. It's a little step down area. And I really like the way that looked. And adding the second wolf cap to the bracelet. I prefer putting my end caps on before I bend the bracelet. You can do it however you're most comfortable. I find if I don't have caps on, then when I bend the bracelet, the ends shift and move. So I just like to have everything nice and secured on the ends to hold all of those wires together. And then bend afterwards. I'm using a little spreader clamp, cheap, inexpensive clamp. And all it's doing is just holding everything in place while it sets. And after several hours sitting and curing, now I'm going to use a a wood bracelet mandrel to shape the bracelet. Bracelet is still relatively soft at this point, and by manipulating it and tapping it, we're going to work harden it and stiffen up the metal. So I'm getting the initial shape with the larger of the two wood mandrels, and then doing just some of the manipulating by hand, and then getting it a little bit smaller on the smaller of the wood mandrels. And again, tapping that to work harden it so that stiffens the bracelet up. I would not recommend putting this in a tumbler. The JB Quick Weld is an awesome product, but soaking something that you've glued with it, soaking it in any liquid, is just going to break it down. So you don't want to have it soaking in any liquid. And that makes a very stunning looking bracelet. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe, and check out all of the other videos on our YouTube channel. We carry many supplies on our website, including the little mini wire winder, and we'll talk to you again very soon.